Um, Leaves, young sprouts, the saps of vines, and vine buds are permitted in respect of Orlah and Revi and to a Nazareth, and are forbidden in an Asherah. Rabbi Yossi says vine buds are forbidden because they are a fruit. Rabbi Eliezer says if one curdles milk with the sap of Orlah, it is forbidden. Rabbi Yeshua says, I heard expressly that if one curdles with the sap of leaves or the sap of the roots, it's permitted with the sap of unripe fruit. It is forbidden because it counts as a fruit. Defective grapes, grape kernels, grape husks, and the wine made from these, the skin of the pomegranate and its sprout, nutshells, and fruit stones are forbidden on account of Orlah, and in the Asherah and to a Nazareth, but are permitted in respect to Revi, and full and unripe fruit of all are forbidden. Yod Rosi says one may plant a shoot of Orlah, but one may not plant a nut of Orlah because it is a fruit, and one may not graft early date berries of Orlah.
Okay. Right. Now, Perik base. Hatruma v'utrumas maaseh shel demai. Now, this sentence itself immediately should be raising flags because there's no such thing as truma of demai. Demai, you don't take truma, you take trumas maaser, because we assume that the Amei Aretz do take truma, but they're a little makil on the maaser rishon and the trumas maaser. Okay, so what some of the Mefarshim proposed that we have trumas maaser utrumas maaser shel demai. So it's got the cases of Badai and the cases of Demai, all inside here. Chala v'abikurim olim be'echadumiyah. So chala and bikurim, all of these things that are basically matanos for the kohen, they all can be nullified. Well, I don't know if the word correct is right. They go up. Olim is go up, but there can be a heter for non-kohanim in 101. Okay, how did they work it out? That was because because Trumas Maaser is one that's got a clear shiur. It's one from 100. So if you take out one from 100, then you got one here and 99 here, and if it falls back in, then you got a problem. But if you've added some kud into that, then so that's okay. So that's why we say 100 against one, just enough to be more than what it came from. Okay, so that's a uniform shear for all of the things that can be eaten only by kohanim. And furthermore, they add to each other. So if you have a chatzi shear of bikurim with a chatzi shear of truma, and they fall into the chulin, into 99 parts of chulin, then that will be asar, because together they make up one part, and that will make the whole mixture meduma. Okay, but tzarich laharim, and if you do have a shear bittul in there, then you have to take out a portion so as not to deprive the kohen of his due. So if you've got the 100 against 1, then take out a one portion. Now remember, Rabbi Eliezer held that portion that you take out is definitely the truma that fell in.
Okay.
So he treats it as vadai truma, but we're treating it as compensation to the kohen because really the truma is batel inside there, but we don't want to deprive him of what's due to him. So therefore, we take out that portion of truma and give it to him anyway. Now, Orlah kilai hakerim olim be'echadu masayim. So we're much more machmir with Orlah and kilai hakerim that you need 200 parts against them to nullify them. Okay, umitztarfim zem zeh ve'en tzarich laharim, and they will join with each other. So if you've got one part of Orlah and one part of kilai hakerim against 199 parts of chulin, then they will join together to answer all of the chulin. Okay, but ein tzarich laharim, and there is no need to and there's no need if you do not nullify them, there's no need to take out any part of them and say that this is now Orlah and throw it away, because nobody's being deprived of anything. The only reason why you're taking it out in the first place for the kohen when it came to truma is because he was due a certain portion of truma. You don't want to deprive him of it, but nobody gets the portion of these things that are sabahana. Okay, Rabbi Shimon Omer Einan Mitzarfin, he disagrees. He says, I'm sorry, these if you had that case of 199 parts of chulin and one part of sorry, not 199. Yeah. Let's make it 200 parts. So it's 200 parts of chulin and 1 part of kilaya kerem and 1 part of orla. Rabbi Shimon says they don't join. Each the 200 parts of chulin is enough to be mevatel each one independently, and because they got 2 different names of isurim, they don't join. This is a consistent Rabbi Shimon shita that two different categories of isur do not join with each other. Okay. Rabbi Eliezer Omer mitztarfim benosin tam aval lo le'esor. So Rabbi Eliezer says that they will join together if you can in order to ask something with taste, but we're not but like Rabbi Shimon says, they don't join if it's just to make isur without talking about taste. So that's, in other words, with the yavesh. So the first case is talking about lach, where it all gets mixed in, and if you take something out of the mixture, you're going to have a bit of taste inside there. Then you have to be concerned what kind of taste is going to come from to the mixture. If it's a strong taste, for example, that's going into the mixture that you can taste in more than one out of 200, then that will assur it. But if it's just for stam isur, if it doesn't have any particular taste, or if you can't taste it, then it's then 200 is sufficient to annul them, and they don't join together either. Halacha follows the Tana Kama that it's simply that the two will join together in terms of bittul. Okay. Mishna base hatruma ma'ala es ha'orla va'orla es hatruma. You can have a case where truma can help to nullify orla, and a case where orla can help to nullify truma. How so? A se'ah truma shenafla lameya. So you have one se'ah of truma falls into 100 parts of chulin. Okay, so now so actually slightly let's say slightly less than okay, so there are different mafarshim who come with different interpretations of exactly what it was here, because it doesn't work with the exact numbers that we've got in the Mishnah. Okay, but let's say you've got 99 parts of truma, 99 parts of chulin, and 100 parts and 1 part of truma. So it falls in there, and it renders the entire mix meduma. But now you've got 100 parts in there. So 3 kav, you have 6 kav in a se'ah. So that's half. So this is half a se'ah. So you've got a half a part falling into here, which is basically 1 in 200, and therefore, or shlosha kavin kilaya kerim, whether it's orla or kilaya kerim, it doesn't matter. They both got a shear of 200 that they need against them. Zohi she'atruma ma'alaisa orla. And here's a case where the truma will help to nullify the orla, because it joins together with the chulin to make something that is nonetheless heter to a kohen, and if the orla falls in subsequently, then then it is battled by the combination of chulin and truma. Now that last sentence, orla is a truma. Now how can orla come and help to be mevatel truma? That's not the case we just discussed. So Kati says, Klumar, and in a similar way, truma orla can help to mevatel truma. How so? Orla nisarva b'ma'asayim shel heter. So if you have a se'ah of orla falls into 200 parts of heter. Okay, so now you've got 201 parts, and it's all heter because the orla is battle inside it. Okay, if it had fallen into 200, it would have been assur, but into less than 200, then it would have been assur. But now it's 201 parts of heter basically. And now truma falls into this mixture. So if in the entire mixture you'd have 100 parts against the truma. So let's just do the math on this. Let's say the truma that fell in is just slightly less than slightly more than 2 parts. So had the truma fallen into slightly, it's 101. That's batel. It's less than 100 parts. That's right. So if it's slightly more than 1/100th of 201, so it was 2.005 parts. Then it's 2.005 parts. If it had fallen into the original 200, it would have assered it. But since the Orlah has fallen into it, it's now just under the shear that it required to make it meduma, and therefore the Israel gets away with it because of the Orlah that fell in. So that 1/200th part, it's a very, very narrow window, of course, because 1/200th making it bigger means that you're basically using calipers and very fine things to measure exactly how much how close it was. But theoretically, it is possible for Orlah to join with the chulin in order to be mevatel the truma.
This is all very confusing. I have to really go over this. It's very
Okay, so the math does work out over here. Now it gets better.
Thank you.
Okay, Mishna Gimel Orlah ma'ala es hakilayim. So now we're saying that Orlah can help to nullify kilayim. Kilayim is Orlah, and kilayim can help to nullify Orlah. Orlah is Orlah, and similarly, Orlah can nullify Orlah. How does this work out? Se'ah Orlah shen nafla l'masayim. So you have one se'ah of Orlah fell into 200 parts. Okay, all good. It's batil. V'achar kach nafla se'ah ve'od Orlah, and then a se'ah and a fraction, and 0.5%. Okay, and a se'ah and 0.5% fall into this pile, or se'ah ve'od shel kilaya kerim. Or a similar measure of kilaya kerem. Zohi shea Orlah ma'ala esa kilayim. The kilayim is Orlah, but Orlah is Orlah. It doesn't matter that the what gets nullified first, but basically as long as there is a yediyah between the two, and that's an important distinction because we had a case before of something that's choser v'neir. Where was the previous mission in Trumas? In Trumas, we said that a se'ah of Truma that fell into 100, and he didn't take it up until another se'ah fell in. This will be aser, and we make the distinction in these cases that it's where there was a yediyah, where a person came in and noted that the iser had fallen into the heter, and now it's batel. So as soon as it's batel, it gets a new din, and the whole thing becomes heter. So if more iser falls into it, that iser will again become batel. It doesn't join with the isser that's already in the pile. We'd say that the isser is completely nullified, and we don't have chazer. It doesn't wake up and suddenly become asser again. Okay.
All right. What a way to start the morning. It is confusing. I'll have to look at it. Okay. Do you have time to go on to
no, the explanations took us close to starting time for shul, so I'm afraid I'm going to have to run at this point.
Have a great Shabbos.
You too, wonderful Shabbos. See you, Mitzvah Sunday.
Good Kodesh. Good Kodesh.
Good Kodesh.